This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
We'll have Lady Raider basketball on the air for you Thursday morning. They take on the winner of Kansas State and Cincinnati tomorrow. The team will leave today so that they can go to the arena tomorrow morning and shoot. And the reason why that's so important is they got a glass floor there at the Big 12 this year. It's not like playing on glass. The actual floor itself is ceramic, has a ceramic coating with etched dots to ensure proper grip. It's designed to be lighter on players' joints, offering better impact reduction than traditional wood. I mean, the big thing about it, though, is it's a massive screen that can change with, logos and I guess the center court and everything like that make it look cool. So apparently, I didn't learn this until Sunday morning, but teams that went through Orlando this year and played UCF got to practice on this floor. So there have been some teams that have had an advantage by going and playing UCF this year. UCF didn't play on this floor, but that's where the floor is located. They've been packing it up and shipping it to Kansas City to install at the T-Mobile Center downtown. So they're going to go and get some shots up tomorrow morning. And they've got just a really small window of time. So really it's more about just how does the court feel and how do you react to it and things like that. And I guess some would say, well, a floor is a floor. Well, like when you go to TCU, it's because they've got that funky design on it, it's a little sticky. I mean, it feels different than just your traditional wood floor like we have at United Supermarkets Arena, or like you see at a lot of places. So I'll be fascinated to see that tomorrow and see how that feels. I mean, it's like, okay, and to see what the players think and what Coach Gerlich thinks and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be interested to see what that looks like and how it goes.
It's funny you think about shooting backgrounds and stuff like that are important.
Sure, absolutely.
But here we're talking about the floor. I mean, it's not as if you're looking down when you're on the floor when you're shooting.
Right.
But I mean, absolutely, if it has a different feel, it'll be different, and you would want your players to kind of get used to that feel. Yeah,
at least experience it before you go out and play a game on it. And of course, the team you play will have had that advantage. And I don't think they're going to be doing like, cosmic bowling, like, flashing lights or something while you're playing,
How will the team that you have an advantage? Because they played a game already.
Yeah,
okay.
They played a game already.
That's fair.
Yeah,
makes sense.
And like I said, I don't think they're going to be like, oh, all of a sudden let's change the logo to K-State, or let's change the logo to the new sponsor or this sponsor, and then all of a sudden you got these bright lights flashing at you while you're trying to put a shot up. I don't think they'll do that.
I would like to think not, but who
Give
knows?
them time.
Yeah,
give them time. Yeah.
If they can, make extra NIL money doing that, I'm sure that would be something they would go for.
Yeah. So it'll be.
And I'm sure someone's figuring out how much of the floor they can cover with logos, and still keep the essence of a basketball court showing through.
Yeah, I mean all those things. I mean, I'll be just.
I think this court's going to be really cool. I do. I don't think it will be a. I don't think it'll be a hindrance or anything like that. I don't think it'll be a distraction, but I think it's going to be really cool. I mean, I think we all kind of giggled when the Big 12 tried to make, had this massive announcement that, it was going to change the world and cure cancer. And so we all kind of laughed when they said, hey, we're going to have this specialized court. But in all seriousness, I do think it's very cool. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it looks like. So you'll play the winner of Kansas State and Cincinnati, and that will be the first game of the tournament tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Also scheduled to play tomorrow, Utah and BYU, Arizona and Arizona State, and UCF and Kansas. So you got two rivals playing against each other in UCF and BYU, and Arizona State. So that maybe make for some interesting first round games. A little extra venom, against each other. In addition to, for all of those teams, for the most part, their next loss is their last game of the season. There might be some that might go on to a WBIT like the Lady Raiders did last year. Kansas might get that opportunity. Arizona State might get that opportunity. So we'll just have to see. And then, of course, feel free to win the whole thing. That's what they would say to their teams. Hey, we're packed up. We're here. Might as well win it. But it would take a Herculean effort to win 5 games like that: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, and it's going to take a Herculean effort to win 4. 4 in 4 days. Just getting to the and just getting to Saturday will take an effort, because potentially you'd have to beat 2 teams that beat you. But I think both those games would be very winnable if you're the Lady Raiders, depending on who you play on Thursday, either Cincinnati or K-State, and then potentially Friday against Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it's just such a weird thing with the fact that the teams that are in front of you, you've beaten all of them.
Yeah.
The losses that you have incurred, that you've taken on, have come from teams that are behind you in the standings. So it does give you a little bit of hope of, hey, if we can just take care of business against those teams that we shouldn't have lost to, that we're talented enough to beat the teams at the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, we'll kick that around on tomorrow and Thursday as the team reports to Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament. Men will be there next week, but they might not be there until late in the week, because they've got the game tonight and the double bye right in front of them, and we kind of go from there. Somebody says UCF and BYU are rivals. No, BYU plays Utah. Kansas plays UCF in the first round.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for This Day in Sports History. Today is Tuesday, March the 3rd, 2026. Here is Jeff McGuire with This Day in Sports History.
See, it's 3326. So there's got to be some math formula somewhere that makes that fun.
Second month.
Third month,
yeah. I tried to help you.
1950. The National American Football League would revert to calling itself the NFL after 3 months.
Okay.
1959. San Francisco Giants rename their stadium to Candlestick.
Okay.
1979.
I always liked when it was known as Candlestick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did too.
1979, the 20th SEC men's basketball tournament took place. Tennessee beat Kentucky 75-69. Later, the 26th ACC men's basketball tournament took place. North Carolina beat Duke 71-63.
Okay.
1983, Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Terry Bradshaw is admitted to the hospital for surgery to repair his throwing arm under an alias. Guess what that alias was?
Oh, I know this. Was it Tom Brady?
It was Tom Brady.
Yeah. Before anybody knew.
Before anybody knew, or even before Tom Brady knew.
Kind of ironic, huh?
That is a crazy story. What year was that?
1983.
And that would be, that shoulder never got better. That would be the end of him. And the backstory is that, so this is March, and Pittsburgh, knowing that Bradshaw's got the sore shoulder and the sore throwing arm and the surgery, elects not to take Dan Marino in the first round of the NFL draft, because Marino supposedly liked to smoke the wacky tobacco, and they felt like that Pittsburgh was a distraction. So instead, they take Texas Tech's Gabe Rivera.
2000
missed opportunity there.
Yeah.
In 2007, Jarius Jackson scored 17 of his 22 points in the second half, and Martin Zeno added 16 to lead Texas Tech past Iowa State 63-61 in the regular season finale.
Man, I loved that backcourt. Both of those guys were so much fun.
It is National Cold Cuts Day.
Okay. What's your favorite cold cuts that you would describe as cold cuts?
I mean, probably the one I eat the most is bologna.
I'll just pass on all of it.
Bologna, ham.
See, ham would be...
I don't
turkey.
hate any of it, but I don't enjoy any of it. A cold sandwich to me is meh.
I like
extremely meh.
Yeah. I like a cold ham sandwich.
Happy birthday today to Jason Tatum, who's 28. Julie Bowen is 56. Jessica Biel, 44. Herschel Walker is 64. And San Antonio Holmes is 42. And at 12:45 a.m. today in 1991, robbery parolee Rodney G. King is in his car after leading police on a nearly 8-mile pursuit through the streets of Los Angeles, California. When Rodney King was finally stopped by the Hanson Dam Park, several police cars descended on his white Hyundai. What ensued was an arrest of King's 2 passengers and an 89-second video that showed multiple officers beating King with batons and being stunned twice. King did charge one of the officers after being tased. He had been struck by as many as 56 times by batons and suffered a fractured leg, multiple facial fractures, and numerous bruises and contusions. Unaware that the arrest was videotaped, officers downplayed the level of violence used to arrest King and filed official reports in which they claimed he suffered only cuts and bruises of a minor nature. And the match was lit in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And that is this day in sports history.
This day in sports history. All right. I don't know if you saw this from the NBA last night, but Washington Wizards player Trae Young got ejected last night, Jamie. He left the bench early in the team's 123-118 loss to the Houston Rockets. The only problem is Mr. Young was not scheduled to play last night and did not play, but he was on the bench. He had announced earlier that he would make his Wizards debut Thursday at home against the Utah Jazz. He was ejected when he walked onto the court to complain to an official during a confrontation between a couple of players. One of Houston's players was also ejected. That's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Full disclosure here.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw this headline,
you knew.
I said to myself, Chuck will love this story.
I will bring it up. Yeah.
Chuck will love this story. Yeah, I mean, he's not the first player to let a ref from the bench and get ejected.
No.
Yeah,
but
the fact that he wasn't playing in the game just makes it a little bit different. But
and the fact that he's never played for them.
Well, he's still out there. He's part of the team. He's fighting for his guys.
Yeah, right. And he's coming back from an MCL and quad injuries in his right leg. He's expected to play, like I said, on Thursday. So they had traded him to Washington. He was part of Anthony Davis going there, and Trae Young went there as well. So anyway, there you go. It's 6:52 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Am I that predictable? Probably. In some cases, yeah, probably.
On some things.
Yeah.
I mean, it just felt like a story that you would like. I'm not saying it makes you a bad person.
Here's something else, and you guys talked about this a little bit, but when you peel back the onion a little bit, you look at this and go, okay, Miami of Ohio is a team that is undefeated. They're currently in their schedule ranking is 285th. Apparently on TV, former coach of the Auburn Tigers and Tennessee Volunteers, Bruce Pearl, said that they didn't deserve a spot in the NCAA tournament without an automatic bid and couldn't handle a Power 4 schedule. The athletics director, David Saylor, said this about Bruce Pearl's comments: "You're flat out wrong about Miami when you say we would finish last in the Big East. The disrespect is awful, and you should not be near a TV studio covering this sport when you show your true colors." Coach Travis Steele apparently told ESPN that high major squads have refused to schedule the Red Hawks due to the potential for an upset. Well, I mean, the schedule is 285th. And you guys talked about this a little bit yesterday.
There's nothing close to a Power 4 basketball team. I mean, there's nobody, even like quality mid-majors. They're not playing anybody tough. And is there truth to maybe some schools don't want to schedule them, or, maybe they're asking for home and homes? Mm-hmm. We're not coming to Miami, Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay. True. Okay. But that doesn't mean you can't go on the road and play some payday games and challenge your team and some of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like they really made an attempt to make that schedule real tough. So, I mean, Bruce Pearl came across as that was a little bit harsh. I mean, a team that's 29-0 clearly can win, but you look at the schedule and you wonder, you have no idea of knowing because they haven't played anybody even remotely close to good.
Yeah.
So you have no idea how good that team is.
So win your tournament and silence everybody, right?
I don't think that will silence anybody because the conference is crappy, but it will at least get them in.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
7:15 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We now head to the Visual Edge IT hotline where we have on the phone the head softball coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, Gerry Glasco. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Your team's doing pretty good. You had 2 no-hitters thrown in one day on Saturday. Had you ever seen that before?
No, I don't think I have. I don't remember that ever happening. But so I think it's the first time.
I mean, it's pretty incredible what your team is doing, and I guess your biggest task right now is just managing everybody's expectations. And you talked about this, I think, on the news last night a little bit, and these non-conference games and teaching and your team learning how to be great teammates in their role and being ready when it's their turn.
Yeah, it's really hard on the athletes in some ways to be on a great team with a lot of great players. You've got players that are All-Americans, and they've played every game their whole career at the junior high school, college level, and then they join this team, and they've got remarkable talent all around them, and they're remarkable athletes. And so it comes down to, on any given day, like who the coaching staff just has a hunch is really feeling good that day in batting practice, who a pitcher is feeling more comfortable with throwing to behind the plate. There's a lot of little things that are happening, and sometimes it doesn't make sense to the player, and rightfully so, But the bottom line is, when you really stop and think about it, like we're a legitimate national championship team, and we have a legitimate chance to win a national championship, and how lucky are we all to be in this position? And on that day in June, we got to be sure that no matter if 2 people wake up with a flu, somebody twists their ankle, somebody's out with some unforeseen injury, no matter what the circumstance, we don't flinch. We just go right on through, and we're ready for that moment by having the depth to fill in that spot. And that's what we're doing and what we're seeing in the preseason. And we'll get maybe a little bit more steady in the conference season, but we've been really trying to learn about our ball club, and it's very difficult for the players as they adjust to that type of situation.
Coach, you guys are incredibly talented. I don't think anybody would question that, and you guys are beating up on some teams pretty good. But it feels like you and your coaching staff clearly have done a great job of keeping these girls locked in despite the fact that you're winning by big margins. What's the key to keeping them from, getting overconfident and maybe losing a little bit of focus?
No, we don't even don't look at the scoreboard. Don't look at the scoreboard because the scoreboard is misleading. It's about looking at your performance and knowing what your true potential of performance was and how close did we come to reaching that. And so, earlier in the year, we were hitting a couple home runs a game, 1.8, something like that, and I think everybody thought that was good. But then, to me as a hitting coach, when I look at this lineup, it's not even close to what we should be. I think we could average 3 to 4 home runs a game. And so that's, one thing, like last week, I was on them the entire week about getting the right pitch, not just a pitch, not even just a strike, getting the pitch that you handle. If you're a high ball hitter, hit a high pitch. Don't get yourself out on a low pitch with no strikes or one strike. Once you get to 2 strikes, you're limited. But you can be very disciplined and know exactly what you're good at and play to your strengths and greatly increase your performance. And that's kind of where we're at all over the field. On defense, we need to know, are we good at charging the ball? If we are, let's play a little deeper. If we're good at going back on the ball, let's play a little shallower. If we're good at going to our left, then maybe we need to play a step or 2 more to our right. So I think it's about finding our peak performance, not worrying about who we're playing against. Obviously, we had a lot of the SEC teams didn't want to play us this year because of the success we've had in the transfer portal. I think they'd like to see us slow that down. They'd like us not to be able to recruit, and I guess they think if we don't get to play some of their teams, we won't be able to continually keep being able to recruit at our level that we're recruiting at. We don't feel that way at all. We feel we're fine. We're going to be able to continue to recruit at a high level. But in the meantime, we're playing some teams that we'd prefer to play a harder schedule. And we can't let that affect us in any way. We just have to play against ourselves, reach our full potential, and then be ready for the conference to start. And once the conference starts, then we're back to normal.
So because you haven't maybe necessarily played as hard a schedule as you would like, have you made practices a little bit harder in between series, or is that something now that you back off on a little bit with the season underway?
Everything's been harder in practice because I explained to the team early in the year that on a normal team, you learn by losing. When you lose, you learn so much about your ball club, and the game will teach you the game when you're losing. The biggest challenge in sports is to learn while you're winning. So I knew we weren't, and I told them we're not going to lose much. We're not going to lose a lot of games. So we're not going to learn a lot if we can't learn while we're winning. And so what that makes me be a little bit. I have to be a little bit harder-nosed coach. I have to push a little bit harder than maybe even I like to push. And I have to point out things that I'd rather the game point out. Instead, I have to point it out. So we've coached them harder, and then the competition in practice is obviously very hard because when you inter-squad, we inter-squad a lot. We're playing against each other. So when you get a bat off Nyjah, or you get a bat off Caitlin Terry, or you get a bat off Sam Lincoln, you get a bat off Clover Yaceto every day in practice, you're really prepared to go against any Division I team.
Coach, you have Houston getting your first conference play this weekend. What do you know about the Cougars, and what concerns you?
They're improved. They're a much better ball club than they were a year ago. I just looked at their RPIs in the top 50 or 60, I believe. They're a good, solid ball club, but it's going to be just like the early season for us. That we have to go into, we have to go on the road. We're going to have to play a good ball game, but we don't want to just play good. We want to play great. And so it's us competing against ourselves to play at that level that we're capable of playing. And if we do that, we'll sweep the series and come out of there with 3 decisive wins. Now, saying you're going to do that and doing it's two different things, because our game is a game where it's very easy to be average on any given day. And so that's our challenge, is to never be average, but to be well above average each time we go out.
Well, Coach, thanks very much, and enjoyed the conversation. And it's a great problem to have, isn't it, with the team that you've got, and trying to challenge them and keep them motivated and keep them interested more than anything else.
It's a challenge that every year the top 3 or 4 teams in the country have the exact same challenges that we have. I mean, Oklahoma played Alabama State 3 times last week. I know they scored like 30 and 35 runs. That wasn't necessarily their ideal opponent, but they went out and played the best ball they could play. And so we're doing exactly what the top teams are doing in the country, and we're just lucky to be among them. And I hope the fans, when they get a chance to come out and realize, like, when they watch Maya Davis, they're watching the best center field leadoff hitter in the country. And when they watch our pitching staff, they're watching the best pitching staff in the country. And then the talent on this team is, I think, equal to any other Division I program in the country. So it's an elite opportunity. It's an opportunity to see an elite roster, an elite staff, an elite team. And the crowd was phenomenal. The game day experience last weekend at home, our fans were absolutely amazing. They made our staff smile all weekend. It was so exciting to go out on that field and have that much enthusiasm and that many people pulling for you and pushing for you. So that was tremendous. We just really enjoyed the weekend.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. You have a great day, and good luck in Houston. That's the head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raider softball team, Gerry Glasco, on the Visual Edge IT hotline.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to talk some Red Raider men's basketball today.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I'm just going to ask you this question. Since the injury to JT Toppin, whose play have you been the most pleased with on the Red Raider team? And maybe somebody who has stepped up, or just maybe somebody who has continued to be solid. Whose play have you been the most pleased with?
Well, I really like what the big fella's doing for you. I mean, he was double figures the other night, but he fouled out. He's got to figure out a way to defend without fouling. To me, the easy answer to some degree is Donovan Atwell, but he's been kind of doing what he's been doing all year long. It's not like he just all of a sudden started hitting threes. So I'll stick with the 6'11" Luke Bemboye. I love that he's been able to get in and get more minutes and be productive and score some points. And I think he can be hopefully a rim protector down the line, and he's getting defensive rebounds. So put me down for Luke.
Okay.
This is going to sound ridiculous, and it might be, but I'm going to go with Christian Anderson. I know he was doing all this before, but now when he is the focus of everybody's attention on defense, and it's we no longer have to worry about Toppin. Now we're just down to Christian Anderson. He's still maintaining that level of play. The game plan is being written for him, for the opponents, and he's still able to succeed. It's the first time Major League Baseball pitchers see a team. Rookie game, they go out, they throw 9 strikeouts, go 7 innings. They look unhittable. Next game, they're like, oh, well, now there's film on you. Well, now there's been film on Christian Anderson for a while, and he's proven that he can handle the attention that the opponents are giving him.
Okay. Jeff started his saying with, this may sound crazy. You've said those words before?
Yeah,
okay?
Right. And
I'm going to say those words now. He's the Big 12 Player of the Week. I don't think Christian Anderson is playing his best basketball right now. Which shows you how good he really is. I don't think he's playing great right now. Too many turnovers, in my opinion. His scoring, he only had 14 the other day. He's capable of so much more. I don't think he's playing terrific right now. Totally understandably so. with so much focus on him, okay, without JT Toppin. I still think he's a great, great player, and I'm not saying he didn't deserve Big 12 Player of the Week, but I mean, it feels like he's getting in the press. He's not getting the ball out of his hands quick enough. We're seeing him getting trapped a lot. We're seeing him turn the ball over more, maybe trying to do a little bit too much and not trusting his teammates enough. So I feel like JT's learning how to play. And you see Coach McCaslin is just, because he knows how talented he is, he is just on him every second to get him to that level. And I love Christian's game, and I've been super impressed this year. I just don't think he's played his best since JT has gone out. I think Chuck touched on it. I think the easy answer is the right answer. The way that you have Donovan Atwell shooting the ball right now, is just absolutely money. He's a terrific defender as well. I just think he gets overlooked a little bit, but that dude has been such a good fit for this team, and it feels like his game has picked up since JT went out. So I agree others have, like Bamboye.
Yeah.
Okay. Like Bamboye, he's absolutely one of them. Josiah Mosley would be another. Tyree Bryan, probably you could throw him in the mix as well. But, man, my answer is Donovan Atwell. You said it's probably the easy one, and I think it's the right one.
Okay.
I just think Donovan is playing at an incredibly high level right now.
Well, he's shooting at a clip in Big 12 play of 49%, and he hits his free throws. He doesn't shoot a lot of free throws. He's 20 of 23. He does help you get some rebounds, though. Not a whole lot of offensive, but he's got 44 defensive rebounds. It's not the top. The top was JT Toppin, but he's not available to you anymore, obviously. Lawan Watts now actually leads you in defensive rebounds in terms of your available players. So, okay, well, if you have a thought on that, hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Banks. Happy State Bank, just one S, like Connor Mohan, just one S. No S, just no S.
Just one Connor.
Just one Connor, and just
one Mohan.
They have many locations, Happy State Bank, but it's not. That's not Happy State Banks, right? Happy State Bank. Atwell is underrated. You're not here without him. Okay. Somebody says this. Mosley is top for me. Okay.
I would put him high on my list as well.
Okay.
He has been a surprise to me.
All right. Let's see. Somebody says this. Christian Anderson dribbles too much at times.
Completely agree.
Okay. So we'll see what transpires tonight over at the USA as they'll hoop it up for the last time at home. And then they close out the season on Saturday at BYU, a game that doesn't look as imposing as it did 3 or 4 weeks ago. But it'll still be hard. And you know what? They may be playing for a whole lot by the time we get to Saturday there at the Marriott Center. But
if you think they're anywhere near the bubble, obviously a win against us would be
huge.
Would be massive for them.
Well,
a nice little resume booster. You think that would get them off the bubble?
Yeah. And kind of with the fact that they've gone backwards, a little bit. It kind of makes you feel like they might be in a little bit of trouble. And I may be dead wrong on that. It just, when you're 8-8 in conference play, and you got 2 games left, and you got a player out, well, kind of put you in a spot. All right.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Every day but Tuesday at 7:15 for the rest of this week, as part of the 74th annual Lubbock Regional Spelling Bee, presented by Sonic and sponsored by Double T 97.3 and Fox 34. We, in the spirit of it, spell a word. I do. Random word that Jamie gets out of his randomizer that he brings out of the closet once a year. Our fun is brought to you by Davis Paintless Dent Repair, and we thank those fellas for being a part of this. I'm 1 for 1 for the week. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, chance to go 2-0. Or as the coaches like to say, 1-0 for the day, right?
That's right.
The 74th Annual Regional Spelling Bee will be Saturday. We have 17 competitors this year, all vying for the opportunity to go to our nation's capital and participate in the National Bee. Our friend Carl from California, he's been a guy that has participated in spelling bees, he and his brother. I learned the other day that Ralph DeWitt from Ralph's Records, he was a spelling bee.
No way.
Yes, guy in
That's
San Antonio
cool.
growing up, a couple of times. Spelling bee captain, I believe, too, for Ralph. So, at any rate, in the spirit of that, plug in the randomizer, get it fired up, and give me a word.
All right. I have a word. This word, picked randomly out of the randomizer, describes a person that is drunk.
Oh,
You can describe them using this silly word.
okay.
Today's word, Chuck, is sozzled.
Oh, my God. Sozzled. I don't think I'd ever even heard that. Is this a real word? Sozzled? Sozzled. Jeff, have you ever
Jeff
heard
has a really confused look on his face.
You ever heard of this word?
I have not heard of this word, but I have this word now. So I have the correct way to spell it.
Sozzled.
When someone is drunk, you can describe them using this silly word.
Sozzled. I want to say this is how it sounds in my head. S-O-Z-U-L-E-D. Sozzled. It's hard to spell a word you never heard of.
Yeah, no doubt. I've never heard of it either.
Sozzled.
S-O-Z-Z-L-E-D. Okay.
Would not have when I typed it in to Google it. Yeah, no, I didn't get close either. So don't feel bad.
Sozzled.
What did you type in?
Sozzled.
Okay.
Sozzled.
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 Again, world's worst
So-
speller.
You
Not Chuck, me.
and Fink heading to Kansas City for some fun.
Right.
Make sure neither one of you gets sozzled.
Sozzled. Well,
I don't think we have to worry about Fink.
we don't. I mean,
So-
it's...
So I guess it's just Mark. Make sure Chuck doesn't get sozzled.
Yeah, I mean it's my hometown, and it's there's plenty of places for me to go, and there's plenty of locations where in the past I've had good time.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your
name.
sozzled.
Yeah.
Well, that would still be Lubbock for Chuck.
Yeah. Any rate, I will tell you this. This was pretty
I think
funny.
you overthought that one.
Yeah, this was pretty funny. Last week in Lawrence, I went to this little dive place to have a burger and a Coke for lunch, and I'm taking a couple pictures, and the fine proprietor, I mean, this is a true dive, okay? He's like, why are you taking pictures of my place? I said, look, man, I've been coming here longer than you. I got here in 1984. I go, well, I was here in 1980. And then it turns out he's the owner of the place. Well, humble brag, I do this the best.
It doesn't really answer his question of why you took a picture because you were here before he was here.
Well, I just was taking some pictures. I mean, I had tech gear on, so he was trying to figure out what I was doing. I think he was like I was some kind of spy or something, like trying to recreate his mess in another place. The funny thing is that he knew guys that I knew, and the other funny thing is that a little bit later on, one of my friends who was at the game, he's a banker here in town. He comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, I just met a guy, and he said he went to high school with you." I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." So it's like, So anyway, that was kind of fun. It's like, okay, I can still walk into that place and know somebody who's there. Okay. Bobby Hot Dogs, you have my number wrong. My employee number at Kmart was 173, not 172. I don't know who 172 was. I don't think we had one. Are they going to roll out the bunting for the return of 173? No, there will be no bunting in downtown Kansas City when we get there. Be no red carpet or anything like that. I think the place we're staying at there's some rumors of it being haunted. Okay.
Super fun.
Yeah.
It'd make the shows entertaining the rest of the week.
Let's see here. This was I thought a good question. Okay. With the possibility of 5 games remaining, is there a path for Tech to get a 2 seed? Is the difference between a 2 and 3 such that you want to stay sharp, but getting some guys some rest before March Madness is more important than going all in to win the Big 12 tournament? All right, so what's your thought there?
I think you would probably have to win it all. Win the Big 12 to get to a 2 seed. I stated this yesterday. I feel like it's not that important. In baseball, you hear about teams overusing their arms in a conference tournament to win a championship, and they're not well rested when it comes to the postseason. I don't think you hear as much about that in basketball. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen, though, where teams go deep into a conference tournament or win a conference tournament, and then their legs are toast because of it. I mean, you're going to get Saturday to Thursday before you play a game.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Unless you were in one of the first 4, and we're not in that situation, right? If you're the Red Raiders.
Yeah.
I know that you're a team that, throughout the course of the year, we've talked about depth issues, but it feels like you're playing more guys now than you were then.
Yeah.
And before JT got hurt. And so, I don't know. I guess I just don't worry about that much. At the same time, I don't want to see Christian Anderson play 40 minutes 3 straight days. You're going to get the double bye, so it's not like you're playing 5 games. You're only going to play 3, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if you were to play in the conference championship. So, I don't know. I mean, and Grant McCaslin obviously, and his staff after Saturday, if you were playing until Saturday, could then turn around and, we're going to lighten the load on these guys this week with some of the stuff to make sure that they're rested and ready to go for Thursday or Friday, whatever that day is. So I don't worry too much about it. If you got a chance to go win the Big 12 championship, I say go do it.
So the latest bracketology is out. The Red Raiders, according to Joe Lunardi, are still a 4 seed. He has moved them to San Diego, though. And the thing about that is that particular regional moves into, for the regional finals, to Houston. So that makes it better.
That's what you want,
yeah. So Tech would play Stephen F. Austin, according to Joe. They're a 13 seed. And then if the 2 higher seeds win, Tech would match up with Arkansas. Arkansas is the 5 seed. He has them playing South Florida, the 12 seed. So, if you're a 4 seed, you match up with 5. If you're a 3 seed, you match up with 6, if the seeds hold. So what you don't want to be is like a 7 seed, because then the 7 seed has to match up to the 2. So you're not going to fall that far. So I don't know if there's that much difference between being a 4 and being a 3. I mean, the thing is, you're playing a 6 versus a 5. So you get a little separation there.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.